Hey y'all, my name is Tia, and I am the host of the Pleasure and Peace Practice with Tia. For those that have been following along, you know that I regularly take comments, questions, curiosities from my listeners so that we can have a more pleasurable and peaceful existence. So I recently got a submission, maybe it's a comment. I guess it's kind of a question. Um, in my anonymous box, which you can access by going to the link in my bio, but it says, I feel like my clit is small and not very sensitive. Is there any way to make it more sensitive? So I wanted to make sure to do a video response for this one, not just on my podcast because of the nature of the question. All right. So, first part, I feel like my clit is small and not very sensitive. Let's start with the small part. So, here's my handy dandy 3D vulva. All right. So, this is what most people would consider their clitoris when they are looking at their vulva. Now, while that's true, this is the clitoris. What many people don't realize, this is actually the clitoral structure. So, vulva, clitoris here. But if you were to remove, right, the clitoris and look inside, if you have like 3D goggles or something, this is actually the clitoris. So this little part here is all that we see outside of the body. Some people have more, some people have less. All of it's totally normal. Some people have more of a clitoral hood, some people don't. The point I'm making is for this listener, it's possible that maybe you see very little of your clitoris. And so you think that you have a small clitoris. But I'm here to tell you this is your clitoris. Um, and so your clitoris is the perfect size for you. Let's just start there. With that being said, all of these pieces swell when aroused. All right. So not only is this your clitoris example, right? Obviously, it's not rainbow like this. But not only is this your clitoris, but it can engorge itself with blood, just like a penis, right? We have the same parts, but just constructed differently when aroused. And so you have lots of sensation. There have not been enough studies on the female anatomy, unfortunately, for us to know for certain. But there are some people, myself included, who theorize that the G spot that people love, two fingers in, up a little bit, is actually just the elongated clitoris, right? That is also swelling and filling with blood, and it just feels really good. So I wanted to start there with a little bit of education. Your clitoris is not too small. It's perfect, 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 perfect for you, I promise. So now about it not being very sensitive. That's possible, right? There's so many different without me knowing anything else about you or your situation, it's possible that your clitoris might have lost some sensation. I will say that it might be worth talking to a professional like a MD or someone in the medical field about that some more. I can only offer information from my point of reference as a sex educator and mental health therapist. But from my perspective, I would encourage you to potentially, well, first, I would definitely encourage you to start there, right? So start with trying to talk with your OBGYN provider and just asking some questions about, hey, I think that my clitoris might lack some sensation. I would like to know what you know about clitoral atrophy. I'm not saying that you have clitoral atrophy. I'm saying that it's something that does happen and it might be worth asking about, seeing what's going on, excuse me, more with you and your anatomy. Outside of that, there are various creams that you could try. There are, of course, Exercising helps get that blood flow down there. I would encourage you to play around a little bit with your body in the event that you haven't spent that much time with yourself. You just might not be used to any sensations and not know what feels good, and that's really common. Unfortunately, it's very common for women to just not know what feels good, and they think there's something wrong with them or that there's something wrong with their anatomy, and there's not, right? We all have different levels of sensitivity, and that not only does it vary from person to person, but it varies over the span of our lifetime. The sensitivity of your clitoris when you are 13 is going to be very different from the sensitivity of your clitoris when you're 25 and when you're 35 and so on and so forth. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your partner. It just means that things are changing. Things are different. I know this was kind of a broad answer, but it was a very vague question. And I hope that this was helpful. If nothing else, I hope that my little 3D model, I've been dying to get it out. I love this model. I hope that this was helpful. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to ask me if I didn't fully answer your question or if you have more context you'd like to share for that listener. Please don't hesitate to get back into that anonymous box and let me know, and I will get back to you as you can see. And yeah, that's it. So I hope everybody else is having a fantastic day. If you are listening and you have more questions, comments, concerns about anything, especially as it relates to sex, gender, mental health, please don't hesitate to let me know and I will respond as I always do, either here or on threads or on my podcast. Just make sure that you're following me and subscribing so that you don't miss anything. All right, y'all. Talk with you soon.